Good morning, good evening. Thanks for listening. This is a show on organic gardening, organic horticulture, organic agriculture, focusing on plant science, soil science, and microbiology. And the information is for educational and scientific purposes. It's fact-checked. Any of the websites or papers discussed will be put in the description below. If you're rewatching this back, fast forward until you see the screen change. Or if it's gone for 10 minutes, that means it was a short show. I don't know what the title's going to be yet. Wait for the cool folk in chat to arrive. So I'll give it another 75 seconds. So another 40 seconds to go. Seconds. Five seconds to go. So, no one's arrived yet, that's all right. So I have to think of something to talk about because I don't have a topic. But something interesting as I've been going through my garden is about the biodiversity. B-I-O. I'll share my screen because a lot of folk think about the NPK, that's it. But the garden biodiversity promotes plant health and can provide a richer habitat for local wildlife. Not only that, actually there's a hell of a lot more than that. What it does, it gets everything cycling. So the smaller things get eaten by bigger things, and then manure gets dropped. So that creates different microbes, different micro habitats. And those microbes work just on themselves alone. Then they'll attract new things, so it'll become richer and more denser. Before you know it's thriving, vibrant, thriving ecosystem. And yeah, to do that, well, it's pretty straightforward. You don't kill anything. So that's why this organic practice is very healthy for the environment. What else is there? Yeah, you want your soil looking like that. Plenty of hyphens, heaps of worms. Actually, remember with the worms, you want there's the three types. Enioic, which go deep and they're massive. Endojoic, which is just beneath. And then epijoic, which is at the surface here, which is what these mostly are, all the composting ones. And actually, did you know too that they secrete ammonium from their sheath or their skin? Ammonium is one of the three nitrogen sources that the plant can uptake: ammonium, nitrate, and NO3, NH4, and ammonium. Does it take up NH3? So that's about it. All I can think of, which was, oh, here we go. A few comments. G'day, says Sunshine Explorations. GMF says, good evening, good peeps. I hope you all are safe and happy. So yeah, as I sit outside and play with my bearded dragon, I got a wild one of those that I've fed for quite some time. Yeah, I'll share it. Screen. It runs over and says g'day, climbs on me. It's one of these. I've fed it since it's a baby. It's nearly about the length of a ruler now. And it's wild. It's so cool. So gentle. Oh, I wonder what type of Eastern. A Pagona. They're massive. They're like the size of the... they're bigger than the iguanas, I think, that we get in Australia. Like 6 feet long. I was playing with a few iguanas while we were at Pagona. Okay, I'm wrong. Beardies. I call mine frilly. Anyway, as part of the habitat establishment, getting the natural biodiversity cranking, and I was happy to do that. That's why I thought I'd mention this today. So you're getting everything cycling, everything working the way it should be naturally. That's how the world survived for the last 4.5 billion years without us. Now human interaction has spoilt it. I'm not going to go into the negative. Yeah, by building up everything and then killing nothing, you allow it to establish itself. It's pretty cool. And then it thrives. And I was standing on my roof the other day looking at my area compared to the neighbours, and you can see it's just a big green plot because it's starting to get very thriving with very fertile. Ongoing care. Test, add. Well, here we go. So ongoing care. To have a healthy yard. Test, well, I suppose you should, but if it's thriving and organic, it should maintain itself. If you've got a pretty healthy mulch and compost program, it should always be around that. Rotate crops. That's only just to get rid of bugs and problematic pathogens, which is a good idea, of course. But if everything's healthy and thriving, but what happens because the rotation, if you don't rotate, things will just keep building up, and then all of a sudden you've got the same species of spider mite that's just going to just completely, but by changing it, they'll die off. Boil soil compaction, well, that's where the worms, and you won't have that if you have the organic practices, because you won't be driving heavy tractors and allowing four-wheel drives like my neighbours who they're hunters, and they allow four-wheel drives just to drive on the top of the soil. But they call themselves agriculturalists. Kids ask. And chemical treatments to protect the microbes. What's that? Avoid chemical treatments. Avoid harmful chemical treatments. That should be said. Because you can give good chemical treatments like microbe is thiamine, the B vitamin, oh gosh, I don't know the number. That's a very good part of the microbe's growth and development. So that's one chemical that would be beneficial. So that's why I say that without going into detail. But by cycling everything and getting it to work for itself, it thrives. It's creating, well, you've already created it. It's there. Don't spoil it. So build on it. So living soil is always alive, like unless you go to the desert. And even that's probably got microbes in it if you put it across to a spread plate test. There'd still be something there. So you just got to enhance it and not kill everything off. And there's many different ways to go into that. heaps and heaps of functioning ways to look at all these suggestions. Oh, here we go. Remove all debris and let the samples, oh, that's for you, to be a pure sample. So lab testing, digital pH meter, they're shit. Don't ever get them. Use analog ones. They're accurate. I got a couple of different types. You use strips and drops. Always accurate. You're never calibrating. You never have to replace the probes because you got to put them in a different solution and test at the pH 7 and pH 3 every time to calibrate. Like, get a load of that rot. Just you. Well, anyway, it's up to you. But that's what I choose. Test strips. What does that mean? See, it should be, I presume, pH test strips because they're quite cheap. But they're fast and they give you, if you've got good range, moderately accurate, right? Well, remember 0.1 of a pH is 10 times from the next number, 0.1. So you only got to know within a few points of what you need. Analog probes at the bottom, I did say, sorry about that. Accuracy level basic, okay. I'd say they're moderate to good from what I get out of mine. I've compared mine with the digital. And you need a electrical conductivity meter, an EC meter, or a TDS meter, preferably TDS. It's a bit more accurate than EC. EC is 750 times TDS. So by getting the your TDS meter, it's a lot more, you can get numbers a bit fine-tuned. Instead of it being a 1 or a 2, 1.5, you want to know if it's 282 or 297. Year-round soil care. I don't even want to read it. Oh, hang on, it's Dr. Lang. See what she said. The key to soil health is biology, not in the chemistry. Well, they go into, I don't agree with that. Chemistry is the nutrient cycling. Biology helps that happen. I have a lot of, she's really good, but I'm not going to comment anymore. Limit foot traffic, avoid compost, rotate plant families. Just different crops. Didn't know about the families. We're all different. Each bugs are attracted to different pheromones and stuff like that, terpenes, flavonoids. So the families generally, you know, the taxonomic, how it starts from species, genus, goes right up. Rotating the families, I just rotate different crops. Even different species would have different attractants in it because you've got different phenotypes. Those phenotypes have been grown under different conditions. So they would be, wow, it's really hot this year. Oh, it's really, there's a lot of grasshoppers this year. Okay, we're going to put out this certain terpene, phenolic, that's going to deter them. So that would be one example. And then a different pheno would be already, its genes would be coded for that. So it wouldn't have to go down that pathway. So it could even come down to crops. But in general, it's just, I just changed the actual, like, different legumes. Like to grow garlic in winter or clover in winter and summer legumes and sunflowers. Plant crop covers in the off season to reduce erosion and point. Well, you'd be growing in the off season. So, and you'd want to create a good enough canopy. My canopy was just destroyed from a pretty violent hailstorm. It looked like it snowed everywhere. And so the little seedlings got destroyed. So therefore, my canopy's gone now, and it's growing all of my, I've got a problem with herbs, with the spearmint, wild spearmint growing. Now that's can take over because my canopy's gone. So if your seed covering has been sufficient enough, so it's nearly like, looks like grass. I'm nearly going to show you. I've got an excellent example of it at the moment. Nothing can grow under it because it's putting out this big, massive green canopy. Avoid chemical pesticides to protect beneficials. They're exactly right. Well said. Yep. Pyrethrum kills good and bad. One thing, neem is good. I can support neem. I can support industrial soap, which is the fatty acids of the potassium salt. Spinosad. That's pretty much the sprays that I'd suggest to use. That's in my kit, because you've got a lot of beneficials that you're going to make work for you. Tools and supplies. Recommended products. Oh, here we go. Composting basics. Soil management. Hand tiller. Don't even know what that is. Testing equipment. No. Analog pH meter. A moisture meter. Oh, well, okay. If some people don't understand, if you've been growing up in prison and never enhanced soil, you might want to learn off a moisture meter. But in general, you can stick it down to your second knuckle, and if it's dry on the tip of your finger, that means it's got problems. But if it depends on the cultivar. Like my sunflowers put out tap roots of 10 feet, so they're pretty drought tolerant. But to learn the moisture, yes, use a moisture meter, I suppose, if you, protection, washable garden shoes and gloves. PPE is a must. How about your safety eyewear for all of the UV that goes around, and the sun, to stop all of the sun, what's it called, the cancer, sun cancer. That's way more important to me, the eyes and the sun protection and the sunscreen. Well, I wear long sleeve, UV protected clothing and projects. Worm farms, compost teas, raised beds, cool as. Oh, I've been talking for a while. That was good fun. Going through that. See if there were any suggestions. GMF says, or chocolate covered grasshoppers, grasshopper compost. Yes, they're getting into the protein food, the edibles, insects from Asia. And they're quite big now, even though it sounds weird. They're big. There's a huge market to be made in it. GMF says, could that wild spearmint be harvested to make a botanical oil? My word, it could, mate. Yes, it could. But the ground that I have designated is for my garlic. And the area where it's growing is growing where my green manure is, which is my garlic plot. So that's why it must go. So the frost will kill it, but I'm in summer. So I'd like to make lavender oil. I've got a cold press. It's just like an auger screw bit that screws the material finely and compresses it, and then the droplets come out the bottom. So I'd like to do it with my English lavender that I have, that species. It's very sweet. Yeah. So that was good on a bit of garden biodiversity. Why do you need things cycling, and why shouldn't you not spray or limit your sprays? It has another interesting fact. I was up on the roof the other day and looking at the perimeter around my place that they spray glyphosate next to, a Roundup, very hot, strong, and the sprayer left a perimeter edge strip of about, 30 feet, and there's no dandelions growing inside that, but outside of it, they're thriving. And then the colour of the grasses are greener inside compared to outside. Why is that? The answer is because they sprayed their glyphosate, which affects the shikimate pathway, which in other words kills microbes. So all the microbes have been destroyed outside of that barrier. So the ones left inside of that would be some nitrogen-fixing bacteria. That's why it's more greener. Well, that's one reason why, anyway. There'd be other nutrients, other microbes that are cycling that are allowing that to happen. And naturally, it could happen through fertility being improvement. But it's just interesting to see all this stuff put into practice. What was another interesting spray thing I saw the other day? It's just those two things. Yeah. Just the organics is it's going to win. Win-win. Well, put your questions in chat, because I don't know what else to talk about, please. So, garden biodiversity. That'll do. It's garden biodiversity and soil health. That's what I can retitle today's. Reasons for. Reasons for good garden biodiversity and plant health. Yes, that will be today's title. I'll tell you what, I'll show you what just come up too. Well, hang on. GMF says, he hopes that the manufacturers of glyphosate who patented it as, actually, GMF just says he hopes that the manufacturers of glyphosate can defend their lawsuits that are going to be down the track. Mate, they will easily defend it. No worries at all. That's as sad as the world is. That's why it's going to end in, was it 2,200 and something? I'm not going into conspiracy theories, but good luck to them. They patented glyphosate as a antimicrobial, but they sell it now as a plant herbicide. And the Australian government love it by shiploads of it. So even when you Google, you're struggling to find anything on glyphosate problems. That's why I did that massive talk on it a while ago from my professors in India that supplied me with all of the relevant documents for it, all the papers and the studies, because it doesn't come up on the Australian search engines because they've just got rid of it, because they know how bad it is for the environment, but there's nothing they can do because they just use it. So that's that cop at their government. Oh, but I'm not getting into politics. It's sad, just sad. So I like promoting organics and telling you the reasons why you should do that. Or the reasons why you should try and practice it, because it's very hard to practice it in this blooming day and age that we live in. It's marketing. You can't buy organic stuff. If you try organics, it'll fail. Heaps and heaps of things go against it. And it's the big manufacturers and the big marketing people that are aware of this, and they don't care because there's no money to be made in it, etc., etc. GMF says, so weird because they are getting sued left, right to pay for cancer treatments for victims. Yes, here's an actual fact for that. Oh no, it was in the States. It was for cancer. I think it was California, successfully sued Bayer Corporation for his cancer because they were spraying glyphosate in the fields next door, and he got it, and he got cancer because of that. He proved, and they paid him $2 million. That's off the top of my head. It's very close to that. But I don't want to get into that. I went into that on my talk on glyphosate. That was a bit that I said because I did a fair bit of research to make that that talk up a while ago. Lots of news coverage. Yeah, I'm sure there was, mate. It's just, but then it goes away, and then all of a sudden it's back into it. I'm not here to fight the big manufacturers. I'm just here to give some facts. I just get sad when I hear about stuff like that. It's nothing you can do. Nothing I can do. I just have to try and forget about it and look forward to the next cricket match. It's usually what I do. And go outside and see my nice garden, see how it's cycling, see how I can improve it. What can I amend it with? Look at the time of the year. Oh, it's this time of year. What can I do now? Oh, it's coming into a drought. Oh, okay. Let me use that to my advantage. Let me to mow or whip a line trim down some of the plants I don't want. Low weeds, I'll get burnt off and killed. So things like that, I just work with the environment. Yes. Well, anything else more to say? Healthy garden living. What's today's topic? I'll put in that page, that research from the Green Genius too. That page that I reviewed. GMF says, seems like the Australian consumer have the ability to change the market if they are educated. 100% correct. That's why I'm here. I try to help. Look at the Australians that are tuning in. 0. They're not interested, mate. They've done it so well in Australia, marketed it so well, that there's only one way to garden. They're happy with the cancers and everything produced because it creates more medical problems, medical jobs for them. It's a big round circle. I don't want to get into it. I don't agree with the Australian government in many ways. But as you know, you can't please everybody. The government can't please everyone. That's why I'm just into organics. Try and help out those who want to be helped. And they might be able to help out some others, and then they can profit in their lifestyle and their health. It's all this is about, improving your health. For my age, I definitely don't look my age. And it's to do with my lifestyle and my health. The way that I've adopted these principles and practices that's very labour intensive, but my insides like it. I'm rambling a bit here. It's true though. It's all about health. Like at uni this semester, I was going to take a few nutrient courses, and I didn't. All right, well, yeah, that's one thing I can say with the sunflower. I'm really happy. I'm going to harvest that seed, like I've harvested all the other seed, buckwheat and seed in the last few years, and clover, and I'm going to put that forth next year, and it's going to be heaps better. Make your own seed for your environment, and then it'll thrive. You should. Oh, can I show you? One person watching GMF wants to look. And it just looks like it's all green anyway. It's just a plot with all bloody green. Yeah. So you just put the right seed ratio out and everything goes to plan. If anyone's got any gardening, any type of horticulture, agricultural questions, I'll be happy to help and answer. It goes to anybody, even those idiots in Australia who don't really want it, who have hurt me in the past, because you've got to help educate people regardless who it is. If they're interested to learn, that's good. Right, I'm going to wrap it up. I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend, and I hope to join you all next week and do the same thing again. And I'll chat to those through the week. All right. Happy breeding, happy growing. Good health to you all. Thanks for listening. Press thumbs up if you thought it was all right. Catch you next time. Thanks, mate. You too.